The night ward that wasn't on the map. It was 1:58 a.m. when the hospital pager vibrated with a message that didn't make sense. Code Gray, Basement Ward B. I stopped walking. St. Elora's Hospital didn't have a Basement Ward B. I'd worked night shifts here for 3 years. I knew every wing, every shortcut, every place the lights flickered just enough to make you uneasy. The basement held storage rooms, old records, and a sealed corridor left over from renovations decades ago. No ward. The pager buzzed again, more insistent this time, as if annoyed I hadn't responded. Assigned nurse. M. Keller. My name. I told myself it was a system glitch. Night shift does that to you, turns small errors into omens. I slid the pager back into my pocket and pushed my medcart forward, the wheels squeaking softly against the polished floor. That's when the elevator doors slid open on their own. I hadn't pressed the button. The interior lights flickered once, then steadied. The panel listed the usual floors: ER, ICU, surgical, recovery, and one I'd never seen before. B. The doors began to close. Wait, I said, stepping forward without thinking. The doors paused, opened. I stood there for a long moment, listening to the hum of the cables, the distant beeping of monitors somewhere far above. Every instinct told me not to get on that elevator. But another feeling pushed back. Professional reflex, maybe. Or something worse. The pager buzzed again. Patient waiting. I stepped inside. The doors shut with a sound that felt final. The elevator descended longer than it should have. My ears popped. The temperature dropped. When it finally stopped, there was no chime, just silence. The doors opened onto a hallway that smelled wrong. Not decay, not antiseptic. Something older, like dust sealed away for years and disturbed all at once. The lights were dimmer here, recessed into the ceiling, casting long shadows that didn't quite match their sources. The floor tiles were the same pattern as the rest of the hospital, but discolored, worn smooth by footsteps that shouldn't have existed. Doors lined both sides of the hall. Patient room doors. Each one had a small window, fogged from the inside as if warm breath pressed against the glass. I pushed my cart forward. The sound echoed too loudly, bouncing back at me in delayed fragments. Somewhere ahead, I heard the faint rhythm of a heart monitor. Beep, beep, beep. It wasn't coming from any specific room. It was everywhere. I passed a nurse's station with no one behind it. The computers were on, screens glowing softly. On one monitor, a patient list scrolled slowly. Every name was crossed out, except one. Keller M. Room 12. My throat tightened. This isn't funny, I said to no one. The hallway lights flickered, and for a split second I thought I saw movement behind one of the windows, a shadow shifting, like someone turning their head. I stopped in front of room 12. The call light above the door was on, steady, patient requesting assistance. I knocked. No response. I pushed the door open. The room was empty. No bed, no equipment, just a chair in the center of the floor, facing the wall. The heart monitor beep was louder here, but there was nothing connected to it, just the sound coming from nowhere. Then the chair creaked. Slowly it turned. Someone was sitting in it. She wore hospital scrubs, old ones faded, the logo slightly different from the current design. Her face was turned away, but I could see her hands gripping the armrests, knuckles white. "Nurse Keller," she said softly. Her voice sounded tired, relieved. "I knew they'd send you back eventually." "I think there's been a mistake," I said, backing toward the door. "This ward isn't—" She turned to face me. It was me. Not exactly. Her hair was longer, pulled back in the way I used to wear it before I cut it short. Dark circles ringed her eyes. There was a bruise on her neck, yellowed with age. "You don't remember," she said. The door slammed shut behind me. The lights went out, then came back on, brighter this time. The room was different now, a hospital room fully furnished, a bed, IV stand, machines humming softly. And in the bed, I lay there, unconscious, pale, a breathing tube taped to my mouth. The other me stood and stepped closer, her movements stiff, like joints that hadn't been used in a while. "This is where it happened," she said. "You stayed late, took an extra shift. Basement flooding," they said. "Temporary ward." Memory stirred, a whisper of something I'd buried, a night I couldn't fully remember. "They told you it was quiet," she continued. "Low risk. But patients started crashing, one after another. No cause, no warning." The heart monitor sped up. "You called for help. The elevator wouldn't come. The radios only played static. And when the power surged," she touched the bruise on her neck. "You fell." I shook my head. "I'm standing right here." She smiled.